Hi. I gotta tell you, it's been a heck of a week. Um, with the Fairy Queen being in the hospital, I am extremely conflicted. Because just before she ended up going to the hospital, my sister and I had words. We do not get along. And while we are both very capable of being adults and being mature and dealing with this as adults, I'm not capable of forgetting the things she said. And while she claims that I said some horrible things, I'm pretty sure I didn't blame her for a bad childhood. And I'm pretty sure I didn't throw money and the fact that we have no ability to help financially in her face. And I'm trying really hard not to be angry and bitter, but being reminded that they're building a nice home, I have no problem with that. I think that's great if that's what they can do, and that they are capable of financially supporting her and buying her all kinds of nice things. And what do I have to offer? And at first I thought I had to offer me, and because I was constantly told that I just couldn't let past hurts go, I got medication and I got counseling. And while maybe I didn't let them go, I didn't bring them up. And then I learned that I was the only one that was not allowed to do that, because every time I annoy my older sister, she goes clear back to our childhood and what a spoiled, rotten little brat I was, and how she was forced to do all of the hard getting the good grades and I wasn't expected to. And I have had mental issues since I was a child, and I could get into why I think some of them are there. Has nothing to do with mistreatment, but my memories that are coming back now are of a very wonderful childhood. We had a good childhood. We went to the lake, we went on picnics, we visited family, friends, and relatives, and we just had all kinds of adventures. That's what I'm remembering. So being blamed for punishments that she might have got because she didn't get good grades, or having to be the perfect one because she was number one, that's not my fault, and I can't change that. But not just in messages to me, but in a few to my daughter, she made it clear how she feels about me, and I'm okay with that. I really am. And I medicate myself enough that I can go be around the people that I know hate me. I don't normally have a problem being around people that hate me, but when it's my own family members, it's kind of difficult. And maybe they'll say they don't hate me, they just resent me, or they just get upset with me because I say and do things that they just cannot abide by. And I've said this before, and I don't mean to upset anybody, but my mental disabilities don't show. They come out and then they show, but you can't look at me and see that I've got traumatic brain injury, or that I have agoraphobia or anxiety disorder or any of that kind of stuff generally. And I do my best to hide it. And I gotta wonder if maybe I'd have been born with more visible disabilities if I'd have been accepted by certain members of my family more and not treated like I'm just a rotten human. Done a lot of research on thalidomide, and that's an interesting topic that folks should do a little looking into. And well, I was lucky because the thalidomide I was exposed to was in the very late terms of pregnancy, and what happened was I was born early. Now, I know what it did to babies whose mothers took it in early pregnancy, and I'm not saying it's got anything to do with anything, but I am saying that not all disabilities show. And if your own family cannot accept you for your disabilities, what does that say? And I gotta tell you, I'm getting darn tired of being told if I would just stop saying, or just stop getting upset, or just whatever. I do what I can. And one of the reasons I stay the heck away from my family is because even drugged, which I have to be, anxiety and all of that, even on medication, they have made it clear that I'm not good enough for them. Not all of them. My mom loves me. I'm not saying she doesn't. But the people in charge of who gets to see her, I have to be on my best behavior, because it's already been made clear to me also in messages that I'm not in charge, and the person who is in charge has the ability to say that I can't see her. And while she's in the hospital, I'm going to do the best I can. Includes being a zombie, so that I can see my mother, because I know that when she ends up living with family members that hate me, I won't be able to see her anymore. One of the problems with me, I guess, is that I can't put on that oh so sweet act. I used to be able to. I was a pretty good desk clerk and stuff, because I could smile through a bunch of BS. But I can't do that anymore. I don't have her talents. And it's very difficult to be around people who either don't know the whole story about me, or who really just don't give a damn. Because you would think that your big sister would care if you have a brain injury or a heart problem. And while she's pretending to be very caring, and like I said, we can put on an act for Mom, I can't forget her laughing at me in messages when I told her I was having chest pains and I thought I was going to have to go to the doctor, and I was scared that I was having a heart attack. She thought that was funny. I can't forget those things. And I can't, as she wants me to do, put them in the past. Especially the fresh hurts. And I certainly don't see why I should have to, when apparently I am the only one that has to. Because let me tell you, I haven't brought up things that she did mean to me in childhood. And she was, at times, when she noticed I was alive. And I certainly wouldn't blame her for any disciplines I got in childhood. And it's not like I was a tattletale and got her spanked. That's not what happened. She just blames me. Because by the time our parents had had 3 children, they had learned a little bit more about our abilities. And the one thing they learned about was dyslexia, which we all have. And by the time I was born, they accepted that it's an issue. Now, the other 2, they were taught and forced whatever, pushed into learning to deal with that dyslexia. I wasn't. And while she may be bitter that they demanded that she get past it, I don't think she's ever considered that maybe I might have a little bit of a issue with the fact that by the time I was born, it was like, let's not worry about it, just let it ride. And I might have that issue because all my life my family has treated me like I'm some kind of a flippin' idiot. And I'm not. And I'm tired of it. And if I can't make my own sister understand that I fight every day battles in my own brain, and that when she says nasty things to me or blames me for things that happened to her when she was a child, those fights just get worse in my brain. And she made it very clear to me that we contribute nothing financially. And then tries to hand me money. I'll beg on a street corner, sis. I will. Before I will take a dime from you. Because sooner or later, that will be thrown back in my face. That the poor white trash that you were so ashamed of took money. And don't act like you don't treat me like something you wouldn't wipe off your shoe. Or you would wipe off your shoe because you'd probably throw your shoe away if you stepped on something that you think of like me. You want to be mad about that? You want to know where I get that? That feeling? That? I get it from how you treat me. I get it from the things you said in messages. That no, I'm not going to just put behind me. You say I said mean things to you? Let me know what they were. Let me know if I made you feel like dirt. Because trust me, I'd apologize. And I'd mean it. Can you say the same thing? Honestly, I'm about to snap. Even medicated, my family can't accept me.